Welcome back.
Oh, Denali, nice job singing first. Welcome in. Hey, what's up, Base Guru? Yo, thanks for the hydrate. We got some game news things happening today. Happy Monday. We'll talk about quite a bit. All right. Well, happy Monday, folks. Welcome to the channel. This is a bit unusual. I don't normally stream at noon during the week, but this morning I had a work call I had to attend to. At the time, I'd usually be getting my stream stuff started, and it went well into the time I would have been live. So just had to deal with some stuff that happened over the weekend, and it's the nature of the job, I guess. But anyway, what I figured I'd do is I'd push the stream back to noon so we could have a game news show on the books, talk about everything that happened kind of over the weekend, the last few days in the gaming space. So you should be fired. That's terrible. I should not be fired. I do a good job. Or unless you're talking about fired from my YouTube channel, then yeah, sure. It has crossed my mind a few times to just end it all and quit making content. I mean, I think it crosses everybody's mind. Anyway, that got dark. That escalated quickly. What's up, Vincent? Oh man. Anyway,
Welcome back.
No joke. I wish I could count the number of times. Just last week, I thought about stopping streaming. It has crossed my mind quite a bit. You know, we ignore those voices because I do enjoy it. Anyway, let's jump to some game news. This is a weird episode, as it is. But good to see everybody in chat. How's everybody doing? I hope you all had a good weekend. Anyway, I'm trying to find the buttons. Who's got the button? And there we go. Oof. All right, we'll turn news mode on. Off. Did we turn it on?
Welcome back.
I have no idea if we did or didn't. Has game news mode not been on? This is confusing. Stream Deck, you make no sense. Well, that would explain why chat was so quiet last night with the channel points. All I'm saying. Whatever. It'll be alright. We'll roll with it. Alright. Well, let's get started. What are we talking about? Oh, I gotta switch the playlist. This music is not it. It's great, but it ain't it. It's also very loud. What was that? Where'd it go? Did it just stop? I've been having a problem with, like, I'll start playing something, and then it just pauses. And it's like, okay, I don't know what we're doing. I guess we're just not going to do this anymore. Start DJing with the stream deck. Yeah, let's just cycle through music. Anyhow. Alright, well, let's start off with some talking. We've talked about it a little, but there's more news on Marvel's Wolverine. Apparently, the release window is set. Venom game development's ongoing. According to some leaks, this from Insider Gaming, new claims about Insomniac's upcoming projects have surfaced online. It seems that Marvel's Wolverine is targeting a 2026 release window, and the Venom project hasn't been canceled. Development's still ongoing. Marvel's Wolverine is easily the most anticipated project right now from Insomniac Games, and players have been waiting to hear more about the game since it was revealed back in 2021. Insider Gaming recently exclusively revealed that the game is likely to be at PlayStation's next State of Play, and now new claims about Insomniac's Wolverine and Venom have surfaced online. So, if that State of Play does happen, it'll be in the next couple of weeks, I think. Insomniac Games had a leak, yes, and then Venom is still being made, which I guess Spider-Man 2 was successful enough with Venom? Who's that? It better be good. That's all I'm hoping for. But I hope we get a new trailer, maybe some gameplay. The game itself has a cool premise. If it's anything like Spider-Man, it should at least be fun. But I don't know how good it's going to be. It just kind of depends on, I don't know, development, ideas. Oh, everyone just wants to play fun games, and so we want a game featuring Wolverine. You know, one of the best X-Men, if not the best in most people's regards. It's got to be good. It's got to be fun, and so let's hope we get that. But yeah, next year makes sense. I mean, that tracks with everything else we've kind of seen. Dark and gritty. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, that would make sense for a Wolverine story. Alright, let's jump to the next topic. Alright, Battlefield 6's tech lead says optimizing for Xbox Series S made the whole game more stable. Developer discusses challenge of making Battlefield 6 run at 60 FPS on Xbox Series S. So, like all Xbox releases, Battlefield 6 is obligated to release on both the Series X and the less powerful Series S. Speaking to Kotaku, the game's lead tech developer admitted that getting the shooter to run on the former had been a challenge. I will say the biggest thing we did that was a challenge for us was dealing with the console's limited memory, said technical director Christian Bull. Xbox Series S does have less memory than even our mid-spec PC, and so there was a point, I want to say like 6 to 12 months ago, where we kind of realized that a lot of our levels are crashing on Series S. After the team focused on optimizing memory usage in Battlefield 6, Bull said the process made the whole game better and more stable, in addition to specific improvements for Series S. We were doing so much testing, we were collecting all this data, explained Bull. Once we kind of started running all our levels through it, we were able to see where problems were, and after a month or two, we had kind of resolved all of our memory issues on Series S. According to the technical director, Battlefield 6 is now super solid and performant on Series S and will run at a smooth 60 frames per second. Which is awesome when you think about it. A game that is like supposed to be this next gen like fest for first person shooters. It's the flagship title for EA kind of right now. That isn't a sports title. It has to be good. It has to run on Series S. So they've opted for the 60 FPS goal, and hitting it at I like the idea that like, hey, this was a challenge. What we see a lot now with games is they will release with bugs and day one patch issues that it's just like, games coded for like the old 16-bit and 8-bit systems, they had to like write their own subroutines to like work around system issues, and they made fantastic games. And here we are, it's like, oh yeah, but the game doesn't work because we just copied and pasted this asset 10,000 times, and we didn't think that was a problem. And it's like, okay, yeah, but it was a problem. You didn't need 10,000 copies of it. Anyway, I'm oversimplifying the issue. I think it's awesome to hear that, hey, when we spent time optimizing our game, it ran better. And I thought I'd feature that here. I haven't talked much about Battlefield 6. It's not a game I'm particularly excited about, but I will be checking it out at some point. What? Optimization made the game better? That's crazy. Does the rest of the game industry know about this? It's exactly my point. It's just like, yes, the Series S may be challenging to develop for when compared to the Series X or the PS5 or a super high-end spec PC. But on the flip side of that, when you can make a big game like Battlefield run well on the Series S, every other build should be improved or has the capability to be improved. That's all I'm saying. That's what it comes down to. Hopefully, that means, oh, why did you pop up? Where'd you come from? Weird. Anyway. I don't know where I was going, but it's fine. Hopefully that means other developers can take a look at this. I would just like to see development get back to making games run on the targeted hardware within the limitations of that hardware, because every piece of hardware that comes out is going to have limitations. Nothing's going to be, it's not limitless. Nothing is limitless when it comes to like game hardware or video cards or any of this stuff. And we've kind of lost our way when it comes to like making things run well. We just go, good enough. And then we as the consumers go to play it, and we're like, it was all right. It's like, but it could have been better. And some of that is gameplay, some of that's writing, some of that's art direction. There's a lot of pieces that are at play here, but I think developers need to get back to optimization once the base like product is there. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That might not be for everybody, but and time is a big factor in that. Time is a huge factor in that with tight release schedules and everything. I can acknowledge that, but yeah, okay. Anyway, let's move on. All right, Randy Pitchford suffers from foot and mouth disease yet again on the internet. Snaps back at Borderlands 4 criticism. Code your own engine. So Borderlands 4 launched last week, and people are calling it Stutterlands because it's performance issues. Speaking of optimization, game performance. Borderlands 4 dropped last week. Fans have been pouring hours into the fresh open world environment of Kairos, but the launch hasn't been without issues. On PC, the game is struggling immensely for a vast portion of the community, and that has made Gearbox's leadership, especially Randy Pitchford, the target of criticism. On Steam, 35% of all reviews are negative. That's not an insignificant number for a game that just launched. And while Gearbox is hard at work fixing up Borderlands 4 post-launch, disgruntled players are still taking to social media to harangue. Is that a word? What does that mean? All right, we're not going to look it up. Pitchford and company recently, the Gearbox CEO hit back against those criticizing the game, how the game has been made. Oh, it's like harassed? Okay. That's what I figured, but like, it's such a... All right, anyway, that's not the point. Look, we know I can't read. In a statement on social media that Randy Pitchford dubbed as sarcasm, however thinly veiled, the CEO wrote in response to a comment about relying on AI upscale, "Code your own engine and show us how it's done. Please, we will be your customer when you pull it off. The people doing it now are clearly dumb and don't know what they're doing, and all the support and recommendations in code and architecture from the world's greatest hardware companies and tech companies working with the world's greatest real-time graphics engine coders don't know what you seem to know." Hey, Shadow Advance, what's up? Good to see you. So, with this, okay, 2 parts. Comments like this don't solve anything. What just happened? Did we just open this tab? That wasn't my plan. But here we are. Alright, comments like this are just an idea here. Make your game look good without relying on AI upscale. That's not helping anybody. Randy Pitchford did not need to respond to this comment. But I guess he's Randy Pitchford. He does what he wants. Not your fault. You get the streamer reading debuff. That's fair. That's very fair. But to respond like this, it's just like, yes, we know. Like, we know what's going on here. We understand that you're working on the issues. It's just, how did you not see this level of, like, issue in testing? Were you using one PC, one build, one architecture to test it? I mean, come on. Message came, so let's read on. This message came after a string of posts containing technical advice from Pitchford aimed at placating the PC players experiencing widespread issues with Borderlands 4's optimization. He recommended using the built-in Windows 10 graphics settings, turning off volumetric fog, and switching on DLSS, amongst other things. His response to one user about using AI upscaling was almost lambasted by social netizens. One said, "Wow, really? That's your reaction? Not a good look, bro." While another bagged on Gearbox in general. "It's not our fault you can't deliver a solid product." Another user jumped back to the price point of the game. "Don't charge $70 if you cannot optimize the game, crybaby." And yeah, you kind of brought it on yourself, bro. You shouldn't have responded. Comments came thick and fast, targeting Pitchford personally. "You either need to learn PR basics or step down, Randy." Or a genuine embarrassment. Good lord. During Gamescom 25, I sat down with Randy Pitchford to learn all about Borderlands 4, and he assured me that the game would sell so well that it would push the series over 100 million total sales. Yeah, I don't know about that, with how he reacts to criticism on the internet. The guy is known for his weird takes and sharp commentary on his own products. But, I don't know. It's weird when, like, yes, code your own engine is the normal response. Like, yes, I understand. Everybody wants to say that when it comes to criticism. They want to say stuff like that. Like, oh, well, you do it then. But it's not helping anybody. You know, the best thing you could have done is not respond and just blanket address everything. Hey, we're working on it. We understand there's issues. There's, you know, things going on. Sips eliminating all this shade. I just don't get it. Like, if you're gonna run a company, you gotta have thick skin. And I feel like Mr. Pitchford likes to pretend he has thick skin and then occasionally lets the weakness in his armor become the focus, you know? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Alright, let's move on. Maybe. There we go. Alright, we got Dragon Quest VII Reimagined announced for Switch and Switch 2, but apparently there's no upgrade path. Save data cannot be transferred. This is from Nintendo Life. During this week's Nintendo Direct broadcast, Square Enix announced it would be bringing Dragon Quest VII Reimagined to the Switch and Switch 2 in early 2026. Since then, an FAQ page for the title has gone live on the official Dragon Quest website in Japan, and it's confirmed there is no upgrade path currently available or planned for the Switch version. Here it is in full. Can copies of the Switch version of Dragon Quest VII Reimagined be upgraded to the Switch 2 version? No, there's no upgrade path currently available or planned. Please buy your copy for whichever system you like to play it on. Switch 2 version and Switch version are treated as separate games, so save data cannot be transferred or shared between them. This also applies to transferring data from Switch 2 version to the Switch version. So I think stuff like this is kind of silly because a lot of people aren't getting a Switch 2 right now. Holiday season's coming up. There will be a bunch of Switch 2s sold around Christmas and just this time of year that we're approaching. That's a given. But not everybody's upgrading. I would say not even half of the Switch sales would be upgrading or converting to a Switch 2. I think an upgrade path is fair. Especially if you buy it for Switch 1 and then get a Switch 2 afterwards. Then what? You just don't play the Switch 2 version? Because that's kind of what they're telling me. Don't get the better version of the game. Oh well, too bad. Industry's gotten too used to blaming us for their shortcomings. It's very true. But yeah, it's just I'm kind of disappointed by this response, and we've seen this more and more with titles that are coming out for Switch 1 and 2. The fact that there's no like cross-gen plan, even if it was like a $5 or $10 upgrade to the Switch 2 version. I mean, what's the harm in that? Offering that. It doesn't convert, especially if you buy it digital, it would convert it to what, the Switch 2 version? That would be fine. Then you can't access it on your Switch 1 anymore. That's still okay. Making the save data separate too, it feels like you took extra steps. You know, it feels like that took more work to program than to just have the save data work together. No, you just buy it again, stop questioning consumer product. Oh, buddy, we're going to get to that point here in a little while. Very soon, honestly. But yeah, I don't know, Square. What are you guys doing? Like, this is a weird choice not to offer this upgrade path. A ton of people, especially when you have stuff like this game's going to support Play Anywhere on Xbox, which means you can play it on Xbox, PC, your Samsung fridge. You know, like you can play it anywhere, and the save data will just work because Xbox made it work. Switch supports cloud saves, and a lot of games like Kirby and the Forgotten Land. The Switch 2 version just uses my existing save data. It's not complicated. I don't know what's going on there. Like, it feels like Square is going out of their way to make you buy one or the other. But it's like, if I buy the Switch 1 version and maybe it's terrible, maybe it runs really bad, why would I ever buy the Switch 2 version then? You know? How different is Switch 1 and Switch 2 OS? It seems absurd. I mean, it's different architectures. The Switch 2 is doing some like low level emulation, I think. I forgot how they've gone over it. It's not just direct Switch 1 emulation, but it's close, if I remember right. So it's not different enough, but it's the fact that Nintendo's doing Switch 2 versions for most of their first party games, especially the more recent ones, is weird, you know? And the fact that the saves don't transfer, again, it's weird. So yeah, consumer, just consume. No more questions. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Okay. Oh, well, let's talk about this. We talked about last Wednesday, Nintendo's legal battles and their patents and everything. Well, former Pokemon legal lead comments on new Nintendo patent over on Insider Gaming. The former chief legal officer at Pokemon has commented on Nintendo's new patent regarding character summons. If you weren't already aware, as a recap for everybody new here, Nintendo has recently acquired 2 new patents, one of which has raised concerns in the industry, with many worried that this patent could impact numerous games in the process. Publishing lead at Larian Studios has already stated these kind of patents are often used in faith. Now the ex-Pokemon legal lead has weighed in. As reported by Eurogamer, Don McGowan, the former chief legal officer at the Pokemon Company, has stated that Nintendo might struggle in enforcing the new patent, McGowan said. I wish Nintendo and Pokemon good luck. When they come across the first developer that chooses to ignore their new patent completely, even if they wish to sue this developer, they will be able to show decades of prior art. Richard Haig, a game industry lawyer, also spoke about the Nintendo patent in the legal report. Haig stated that the new patent reveals that Nintendo will pursue a legal strategy in defending itself against entrants in the Pocket Monster genre. However, the company's new strategy might or might not be based on lawsuits, and the existence of the patent itself could be enough to deter investment in and creation of competitors. And I think that's kind of the whole reason Nintendo filed the patent to begin with. It wasn't to secure their IP or protect Pokemon. It's to deter people from trying to make other monster games like Pal World. You know, and that's where it's like a little bit egregious, right? Because it's actually a lot. It's not even a little bit. This is a very big overstep. So you have other lawyers weighing in and sharing their opinions on it. I don't understand how this patent was granted in the first place. But yes, I think it was only created to deter competition. It wasn't created to secure a novel idea or product that they are the only ones that created it. I mean, monster collecting has been around longer than Pokemon, I feel. Pokemon certainly wasn't the first. It was just the most successful. It's the favorite. Patents aren't approved on merit. They barely get a review. Interesting. Not even that, religious and friend of the phrase, use this patent in faith offensive, right? Then they tease an Animal Crossing Minecraft ripoff. Well, I mean, Animal Crossing wouldn't really be an overstep because they own both, right? Nintendo owns enough of Pokemon and it completely owns Animal Crossing. But the Minecraft element, yes, absolutely. Hey, don't steal our stuff, but we're going to make a sim life game that very much borrows elements from our competitors. Japan has very different patent laws. That's the only reason they got it. Well, the patent was awarded in the US too, and that's what's weird about the whole thing. So I don't know where this goes. I just don't like the kind of defenses that Nintendo is putting up to protect their IP that are starting to do more harm than good. I'm all for a corporation, for a business, for a person to protect their creation, their creative properties, even their properties. Like, that makes sense. You should have some kind of legal recourse to protect the things you create that are unique and are like your selling point, right? Like that, I don't find a reason to argue against that. But it's when you take an abstracted idea like catching monsters and battling them, or catching creatures. Let's not even call them monsters. Let's say creatures and battling them. That isn't a novel idea in and of itself. Someone thought of it, but it's not like I mean, that's chicken fighting, you know, that's dog fighting. Like that happens in the real world. That's not a new idea. So gamifying it and making it work the way it does, I don't think that's unique, you know? So it's just, it's a frustrating situation because you want to be, imagine, well, like many of you watching this, are fans of Nintendo or Pokemon or something, you know, that Nintendo makes. And it's a struggle to go, yeah, I like the products, but man, I am starting to dislike the company. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm starting to dislike the lengths that Nintendo is going to protect their IP, but it's going to start damaging the rest of the industry in the process. There's locking your front door, and then there's rigging your doormat to explode. One in protection, one is a crime. Drummer, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Nintendo's been making people dislike them progressively more for a long time. No, it's very true. It's very true, and we'll get into that. That's kind of the title of the stream today. The theme is everything Nintendo announced at the Direct can be summed up nicely as money. Is it Pokemon Company or Nintendo doing the filings? Nintendo's getting the patents. Pokemon Company is the one is leading the lawsuits, if that makes any sense. All right, well, let's talk about on the Pokemon Press site, we got some information on the Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension DLC, which I kind of didn't see any coverage of, and I wanted to read the synopsis. So we got DLC for a game that's not even out yet, and we'll get into a lot of those announcements and the details that they didn't talk about. But players can look forward to expanding their Lumiose City adventures with the Mega Dimension DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA, compatible with both Switch 2 and Nintendo Switch. The new downloadable content will allow trainers to continue their story with Team MZ after completing the main story of Pokemon Legends ZA. The mischief Pokemon Hoopa seems to hold the key to Mega Dimension's story. The mythical Pokemon can warp space using the rings on its horns and around its body. These loops are stretchable and can form holes inside them, leading to far-off places. Spatial distortions have also appeared in Lumiose, giving fans even more to discover throughout the city. Two newly discovered Mega Evolved Pokemon, Mega Raichu X and Mega Raichu Y, have also been revealed. Mega Raichu X floats using electromagnetism, concentrating electricity into its fists to land devastating blows. Mega Raichu Y strikes foes swiftly with the amplified electric power coursing through its body. Mega Raichu X and Y can each require a different Mega Stone to Mega Evolve. Man, there's a lot of words. And both can be encountered in Pokemon Legends ZA Mega Dimension. New Mega Evolutions available in Pokemon Legends ZA have been revealed for Chestnut, Delphox, and Greninja. These three Pokemon were first discovered in Pokemon X and Pokemon Y video games. The Mega Stones required to Mega Evolve them, Chestnutite, Delphoxite, and Greninjite, can be obtained from the ZA Battle Club as rewards for being promoted up the ranks in online ranked battles. In Pokemon Legends ZA, ranked battles offer three types of rewards: battle rewards earned after each battle, promotion rewards upon rising in rank, and season rewards that vary by rank and are obtainable at the end of each season. So yes, this was all stuff they showed, but the Pokemon Press site gave us a little more information about the Mega Dimension DLC, which I'm very much interested in, but a little less so after just looking up more information on the Nintendo Store, because you can pre-order the DLC and the game's not even out yet. I don't like that. That's not okay. You know? It's so weird. Imagine if Digimon filed a patent for temporarily evolving into a larger, more powerful form. That would be funny. That would be hilarious. But yeah, let's see. Let me see where we're at on the tabs here. Well, maybe. Not Google Docs. Why are we doing that? What just happened to all of my tabs? Everything went away. What just happened? All right. Well, unfull screening my my thing didn't work. All right, it's fine. Control Z. I know. I don't know what happened. All right, it's fine. This is where we were going to go anyway. We were talking about all the announcements and stuff. let's just do this way. We'll do it live. All right. So I was curious. While we were talking about Pokemon Legends ZA, we have the Switch 2 bundle coming out, right? It's $500. Comes with the game. It's cheaper than buying the Switch 2 and then a copy of the game separately. But they did talk about how much any of the DLC they announced cost. So let's look at that. Don Tech, I'm going to try Rage afterwards, maybe 30 or so minutes. All right, let's go, Don. Thanks, man. Pokemon Legends ZA. Mega Dimension. Okay, so we have the base game, Switch 2 edition. If you don't get the upgrade pack, the base edition of the game is $70. All right, and pre-order now. That's new game prices, right? That's how much a new game costs. Well, Legends ZA Mega Dimension, the DLC, which apparently releases the same day as Legends. So the post-game DLC is $30 more. And you're wanting me to have this day one. You want me to buy this with the game. So you're saying this is a $100 experience if I want every part of it. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is with that. That is an expensive DLC that comes out day and date with the game. Why wasn't this like delayed a little bit? It is weird to me. That doesn't make sense to me. What even happened? You know, like, I'm just not sure. It feels like the game, and we were kind of talking about this on stream last night. It feels like the game was planned for last year. Something happened. They pushed it out to this year, probably for the Switch 2 edition, I would imagine. Given that the bundle exists for the Switch 2 edition. They pushed it out, and then the DLC would have come out this year and been announced probably in the summer. You know, this past summer, to extend the base game. I mean, I think it's cool that the DLC is coming. I think that there's, you know, additional content, looks cool. You know, if it expands the game, great. That's awesome. But that kind of brings me into everything else Nintendo announced. Let's start with Mario Galaxy. Let's start with Mario Galaxy. We got Super Mario Galaxy plus Mario Galaxy 2 launching for $70. If you buy each of them, they are $40. Right? Each of them individually. So you're saving $10 by buying the bundle. But if you bought the Mario All-Stars collection, 3D All-Stars, at all, you have Mario Galaxy 1, so you could just get Mario Galaxy 2. But that doesn't include any of the extra storybook stuff that they added, which we don't know how deep that goes and how much content that actually is. We just know that there's added content to these games that it's not gameplay related from what I can tell. It's just narrative stuff. It's probably not going to make a difference to anyone. You'll be able to look it up on YouTube within a day of it releasing, to be honest. But these are Wii games. These are Wii games that were on the Platinum Choice or Player's Hits or whatever they called it during the Wii generation. These are $20 a piece. I know Mario Galaxy 1 was on that list. I don't know if Mario Galaxy 2 was for sure. They released on the Wii U when they were doing digital Wii games at $8. And then, like, after 3 months or so, went up to $20. So the fact that Nintendo is just like asking these prices for old games and then $30 for DLC, it's just weird to me. You know, it's expensive. That's a lot to ask. And that's not to say am I gonna skip this? No, I want Mario Galaxy 2. I would like a physical edition. I'm probably gonna buy at some point from GameStop. This doesn't look like a timed release like the 3D All-Stars collection was, where it just disappears. Once it's gone, it's gone. But I just find it, I don't know. Nintendo's really like showing a side or a hand that I don't know. It's just weird. Yeah, I gave them the benefit of the doubt when the Switch 2 launched and they were talking about Mario Kart World costing a lot. But now it's a lot, right? Because we look at Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then we look at the bundle that has the DLC. That is the full price of the Donkey Kong experience. If you think that if you value that DLC, that's a game that came out. It's now $90 if you buy it with the DLC. Now, you don't have to buy it with the DLC, but that's the full experience, right? That DLC on its own is $20. You know, that's quite a bit for content that's very short from what I hear. Doesn't add a whole lot to the game. I'm not saying they shouldn't be paid for it. I keep hitting shop to search. It's very weird. And then we have Virtual Boy. We have this, which we got a bunch of dating sims in our search results. That's weird. But the Virtual Boy accessory, right? You have to have this to play the Virtual Boy games for Switch Online, which is a cool. It's a weird thing. Nobody wanted this. I like that Nintendo was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's go for it. You know, let's see what people do. But this is a $100 plastic shell. Now, it probably has, you know, it's got lenses in it for the 3D effect and everything. Like, there is that side of it. But this has no, like, connector or screen or anything in it. This is just a pure plastic item to put your Switch or Switch 2 in to play Virtual Boy games. You know? That's $100 for some plastic that, I mean, you have to have it. Or you can get this awkward contraption, the cardboard Virtual Boy, which requires you to hold it up to your face and play like this. That sounds like that causes different medical issues than the original Virtual Boy caused. That's all I'm saying. But that's $25 for some cardboard. I would expect the plastic thing. This is so niche. I can see why it's $100. It's just Nintendo's asking a lot of money for not a lot of offering, I guess is what I'm getting at. But at least the cardboard option is somewhat more affordable. I imagine this would show up in stores. Because, I mean, it's cardboard, you know? It's reprintable. But this just looks awful. This looks uncomfortable. And it's like, you have to have it if you want to try Virtual Boy stuff. So, I just don't understand. Like, Nintendo's pricing model lately is, hey, everything's expensive, so we're just going to make it all really expensive. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, and I lost the tab for it, but it's fine. Oh, it's how the Mega Evolutions for the starters. Yeah, let's see if I could type this morning. Let's see. Oh, okay. This was going to lead in. It's amiibo costs. And we were talking about things being expensive. And then one other story that I was going to go over was how... Okay, we'll get back to Pokemon Legends because we were kind of focused on that. But the Kirby amiibo for Kirby Air Riders with the swappable riders looks adorable. They're big. They look cool. They're $50 each. And that's an immediate no for me. Like, I'm not spending $50 for a figurine that I don't even know what it offers in the game. I thought it looked cool. I guess I do know. It allows you to it's like Smash Bros. Amiibo, which I bought a ton of, and I don't play Smash. I bought a ton of because they were like $12. But $50 for one figure, I guess two. It's 2 in 1. So maybe they're $25 each. The Kirby is $25, and then the cart is $25. Still, $50 each for these. And Video Games Chronicle has a VGC has a good breakdown. You know, when the size comparisons, I mean, they've gotten bigger, so I guess they think they can charge more. But if we look at the pricing for Mario Galaxy, Metroid Prime 4, and Kirby Air Riders, Kirby's amiibo are very expensive at $50 each, and they're supposed to have more. But that's $100 for just the first two. The Mario Galaxy amiibo, which are two separate ones, are $40. And then the Metroid Prime ones, which are also very large amiibo, Samus and the motorcycle are $40. And then Sylux and Samus by herself are $30 each. That's a lot Like, has the cost of manufacturing, shipping, tariffs driven that up? Or are they just like, well, if we make them bigger, we can charge more? You know, like, what? I want to know what the true cost is here, because everything getting back to Nintendo, like, as good of, you know, IPs as they make, as great as the games are, I don't want to buy any of this stuff now. I used to be all into this stuff, but it costs so much that it's like, well, now I have to find places to store it, and it costs a lot, and I have to hope I can beat scalpers down. You know, like, I hope I can get ahead of scalping. It's just not worth it anymore. Like, the collector side in me is just like, nope, I'm done. It's just too expensive. We'll go without the in-game functionality is not really even worth it overall, although we don't know what Metroid amiibos do yet. All the kids grew up. Surely they have way more spare cash now, right? In this economy? So I don't know. Like, Nintendo is asking for a lot of money from their biggest fans for very little return. You know, these figures are cool. I think they look neat. If you really want one, buy one. If you want them all, buy them all. I don't judge you for spending your money how you want. I just think the prices are getting, like, ridiculous for entertainment. You know? And that's all this is. It's all entertainment. None of this is necessary. We all know that. I find myself getting less and less engaged because of the cost of entry in this stuff. It's why I gave up on Pokemon cards. What do you think about the NFC clone chips? I mean, that's a way around it. A lot of people sell those like trading card packs where they just copy the chips into little NFC cards. That's fine. Nintendo doesn't. Yeah, it's piracy of an action figure, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. But even that, the in-game functionality just isn't worth it. But anyway, all right, let's talk about this real quick. Legend ZA's, because I lost all my tabs and got all screwed up. But anyway, Pokemon Legend ZA's Mega Starters are only obtainable via online ranked battles, which we read in the press release about, but it didn't really sink in until I read this. But, like, you have to play online to get the ranked rewards, and then you have to have the Switch Online subscription to even participate. So now it's like, again, they're asking for more money for the in-game stuff. You know, you can't get these Pokemon without doing the online ranked battles, which I guess I'll try to. I don't know what it's going to amount to, but you have to have Switch Online to be able to participate in this, and that's already bugging a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people tweet about this and, like, complain. And I'm not one to just sit here and complain without, like, a solution. I find it strange to have online rewards that are this significant that require me to pay to play online. You know, like, that just seems weird, because these Pokemon, I guess they can do whatever they want. It's just Pokemon. It's just in-game items. You know, it's all virtual stuff. I can dismiss it, however. But at the same time, there's going to be a lot of people that don't get this, except maybe via trading with other people who care even less, but like playing Pokemon. You know, I just think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed when they find out, maybe I don't play online, so I don't pay for Switch Online. Maybe the conversion now is high enough that they can do stuff like this, and they know that most everybody with a Switch account is paying for Switch Online, so it's not a big deal. It's just a little disappointing. You know, they just keep asking for more and more cash for me to just play the game. You know, and that's why I think I'm not getting the Donkey Kong DLC. It looked cool. I mean, it looked neat. I just finished the game last night. I love the ending. I haven't done the post game yet. It seems fun. But that's plenty of game for me. I don't feel like I need to pay more money to enjoy that game anymore. You know, the additional stuff on offer just didn't appeal to me. And so I don't know, something flipped with this Nintendo Direct for me. I was excited, and then the more details I found out, the less excited I got. And I think that's where I'm gonna to leave the game news for today. Like, I just was really pumped, and then slightly less because of just how everything has shaken out. You know, just everything's expensive. All of this costs way more, and it's just weird to me. It's very weird to me. I'm trying to move this window around. Uh-oh, Nintendo finally snapped Chrono. Didn't take much. I mean, it's just with the cost of everything going up, they're gonna sit here and be like, "Hey, you gotta get more DLC." All right, I guess so. You know. Anyway, well, that's pretty much it for the game news. I don't know that we should linger and hang out and just fill time, but yeah, time for you to switch to Minecraft. Buy once, play forever. Maybe that's the play. Just keep playing Minecraft. I don't know, man. All right. Well, if anybody's on Twitch to send this over to, I would love to raid somebody. I just wanted to be able to stream something today, because the news this morning would have been this. It was this was more organized than what I had this morning, but I was interrupted by a work call. You don't see too many people live. I guess I'm gonna just end it here. All right, I love you guys. Y'all have a great day. I wish I could stay live longer, but I do have to get back to work and be more productive there, so I don't get fired like that one dude wanted. Anyway, love you guys. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully. Bye.